Good evening. Today is December 9th, 2025. Welcome to the San Marino Unified School District Board of Education meeting. Here's our board president, C. Joseph Chang.
Hello, this is Joseph Chen, board president. Let's call to the order for tonight, open section at 7:02 p.m. First of all, I want to report for the closed section. The Board of Education took an unanimous action in closed section to approve the settlement agreement for student number 2561. Call to order. I would like to do a roll call. Mr. Song.
Hi, here.
Mrs. Lam.
Here.
Mrs. Ryan.
Present.
Mrs. Gear.
Here.
Mr. Chen. Here. Student board member, Mr. Book.
Here.
Thank you. Next, I like to turn it over to Dr. Nina Richter to introduce our student leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Thank you, President Chang. Tonight we have the distinct pleasure of welcoming Jua Lee, an 8th grade Huntington Fox, to lead our Board of Education in the salute to the flag. Jua is an 8th grader at Huntington Middle School who also serves as an ASB member overseeing 7th grade activities. And I'm going to rush in my speech to introduce you because she is also an amazing violinist who is going to have to hurry over to the orchestra concert at HMS in about 7 minutes. Okay. So Jua, thank you for being here. We really appreciate you being here this evening. And if you would like to join us at the podium, we're ready to have you.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Place your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. Good evening, Board President Chang, Superintendent Dr. De La Torre, members of the board, members of the executive team, distinguished guests, HMS faculty, and the members of the San Marino community. My name is Jua Lee, an 8th grader at HMS, and I'm honored to represent Huntington Middle School tonight. I'm grateful for this opportunity to share a little about my experiences here at HMS and the numerous opportunities HMS has to offer. At HMS, I participated in various activities and they've tremendously helped me grow as a person. I serve, as you said, as the director of 7th grade activities in ASB, where I love coming up with creative events each month and watching students compete in tournaments. I found myself enjoying collaborating with other student leaders such as Peyton Kim, our ASB president, and overall the people who share the same mindset and enthusiasm for bringing our school community together. Beyond ASB, I have explored a wide range of clubs. For example, last year, I was a chess club officer where I helped set up chess games and watched students share each other's new chess openings. I've also been to the origami hangout where I made fun little creations with my best friends. Music is another big part of my HMX experience. I play violin and have been part of our school orchestra ever since I was a little 6th grader. I also play in our HMS string quartet, which has been an amazing experience for the past 2 years. One of my favorite memories was going to the Arts Rock field trip to San Marino High School, performing for incoming HMS students as a group of 4. HMS offers a diverse range of electives too, such as band, robotics, art, yearbook, and so much more. There are so many events and activities that make HMS an exciting place to be. Just last week, we enjoyed the band and choir concert, and today we will have our first winter concert for orchestra, a wonderful chance to celebrate music and see the talent of our students. And upcoming this Friday, our ASB will host our winter formal dance where students can dance as much as they want. From electives to clubs, HMS has offered me countless ways to explore my interests and grow. Thank you again very much for giving me this opportunity to speak, and I hope you all have a fantastic evening. Thank you.
Well, before you leave, I want you to come on up here because we're going to present you with a certificate of appreciation and also take a quick photo with you. I know you're in a real big hurry, so we'll try to quickly as possible. If you want your parents, come up and be in the photograph as well. Please try that. So Jewel, in sincere appreciation for leading the Board of Education in the Pledge of Allegiance at their regularly scheduled meeting held on December 9th, 2025. We'd like to sincerely thank you for coming and presenting such a beautifully articulated speech. Not only are you a good speaker, but you are the best dressed student I've seen in a long time. So, come on. You want to get on both sides? Okay. One, two, three. One, two, three. Principal, please let you want to rest in here real quick. Hold on. One, two, three. One, two, three. Okay, thank you so much. Great job. Okay, great job. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, in the meantime, I'd like to honor for the City Council Hunter Chen to present. I know this is a holiday season. Thank you available your time here. Okay. And also our PTA affiliate
Oh, yeah.
president, yeah,
Yes, Stephanie.
Stephen Duncan. And we have Mr.
Gill. Mr. Gill.
Yeah.
Yes, security.
Okay, B, approve of agenda. Do I have a motion to approve agenda?
So moved. Second.
Roll call, Mr. Song.
Aye.
Mrs. Lam. Mrs. Ryan.
Aye.
Mrs. Gill.
Aye.
Mr. Chen, aye. And student board member Book.
Aye.
Motion carried. C, approve of minutes. Do I have a motion to approve the November 18, 2025 meeting minutes?
So moved.
And
Second.
roll call, Mr. Song.
Aye.
Mrs. Lam.
Aye.
Mrs. Ryan.
Aye.
Mrs. Gill.
Aye.
Mr. Chen, aye. And student board member Book.
Aye.
Motion carried. 7, public comment. The Board of Education has adopted Board Policy 9323B to ensure the public's right to be heard in any matter pertaining to the San Marino Unified School District. Person who wish to provide public comment will have 3 options to submit the public comment. First, submit through an online form. Did we have any submission via the online form?
No.
Do we?
Yes, we received one, right? We received one public comment through email today.
We received one via the online form and it was emailed to the board this afternoon.
Okay. Second, request to speak during the meeting via the Zoom. Mr. Hong, please pause the meeting for 1 minute to collect the public comment.
1 minute starts now. Communications from the audience regarding matters not on the agenda or items in the consent or information sections, please provide your comments now. For items in the action section of the agenda, please provide your comments prior to the board beginning discussion on those items. If you'd like to request to speak, please use the raise hand icon to make a request. If you're dialing in from home, please dial *9 to make a request. And if you're in person, please submit a public comment card. There is 26 seconds left. We do not have any attendees wishing to speak.
Thank you. There are requests to speak during the meeting in person via the public comment card. Do we have any submission via the public comment card?
No cards submitted tonight.
Okay, thank you. Then we conclude for tonight the public comment. 8, annual reorganization of the Board of Education. Before we start to do this process, first of all, as current board president, I would like to appreciate to entire the community. First of all, I like to appreciate, all of my board fellow and also student board. Without your support, I don't think I can conduct smoothly for the meeting agenda and also oversee and assist to the school district for the daily operation. And secondly, thank you for the district administration from Dr. Directory and to each of C-suite staff and also IT director. And luckily, I have Jennifer Directory, every day remind me which meeting I need to attend. And also, every other weeks, I have to review the board agenda and catch for the 72 hours to show the public. For the last 12 months, I think I consider for my 2 decades for here, I think it's the best year for the school district. Even we have Eaton Fire, unfortunately, and we help him for more than 70 students temporarily get a home for study. I think, and also, we have the staff, unfortunately, they lose the home or they temporarily need to move to other. But finally, we always can overcome. I just salute those family. You encourage your family, and you can stand up. And I think right now everything is go to normal. Yeah, so it's a time to enjoy our holiday season. And the next, I also want to appreciate the PTA, one PTA affiliate and the PTA council and the full school side PTA. I think without them, I don't think how we can be stronger in the community, provide a quality service for the student. And also, I think the school foundation always is our good partner helping to assist for the financial issue. And finally, also our school parent and student, because of my 2 sons from the K to 12, I always advocate for public school. So I want to honor all the parents and students and let the students stay in the San Marino Unified School District with the confidence and let us to serve. Thank you so much. With that, right now is the time.
But I'd like to take this opportunity to honor you and recognize you for your service as our president over the last year. And we have prepared a certificate of appreciation for you, Mr. Chang, for being our fearless leader over the past year in recognition of your outstanding leadership and dedicated service as board president of the San Marino Unified School District. Your commitment, guidance, and unwavering support have made a meaningful difference in the success of our students and community. So we're going to present this certificate to you, and we also have brought you this plant. Normally we give flowers, but we thought that it would with a plant symbolizing our gratitude and appreciation for all of your hard work and just really leaning into this role and making sure that all the decisions that we make together are made in the best interest of every child that we serve. And so thank you for being present. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for leaning into the work and for being such an outstanding, caring, benevolent board member. Thank you, Mr. Chang, for your leadership.
By the way, if I can say, I want to dedicate this flower arrangement to my wife. I think my wife is very special and also strange. Can allow me to serve for 2 decades. I did not live for me. So I think she's the one,
Who deserves
to encourage me and make me to stronger.
Yeah.
Yes.
So can we just get a quick picture with you and your certificate to memorialize this, and then we'll get on with the reorganization. Yeah, not like that, but can you bring the plant?
It's really big.
We can
Reach over here. I'll
Bring
bring
the
it, hand it
plants.
to you.
Put it on.
What, you take the pen?
Oh, that would be lovely. Thank you so much.
I'm very lucky. I never say good word to my student board. I think I'm really lucky this year with you. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Okay, Mr. Chang, and here's your plans. Okay. Ready? Okay, perfect. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh.
Okay, now you can proceed.
It's so pretty.
It is very.
By the way, again, I want to say one more time, each board member, to me is very meaningful, and because we have the best year, all the 5 work together and make the school district better happen. Yeah. So again, thank you so much. Election of the 2025 to 2026 officer. At this time, the Board of Education will select a president, vice president, and a clerk to serve for the 2025 to 2026 year. Do I have any nomination for president? I want to take this. So I like to make a nomination. So I like to nominate Mrs. Gill to be president. Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call, Mr. Song.
Aye.
Mrs. Lam.
Aye.
Mrs. Ryan.
Aye.
Mrs. Gill.
Aye.
Mr. Chen, aye, and the student board member Book.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
And thank
to,
you for your
Ms.
leadership over the last, not just year, but 25 years. And especially, I feel like your support in the newer board members, and not just leaving us behind, but, fostering our confidence and our knowledge about the district and making us better able to serve the students. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Do I have any nomination for vice president?
I'd like to nominate Mrs. Shelley Ryan.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Roll call, Mr. Song.
Aye.
Mrs. Lam.
Aye.
Mrs. Ryan.
Aye.
Mrs. Gill.
Aye.
Mr. Chen. Aye. And the student board member Book.
Aye.
Motion carry. Congratulations, Shelley Ryan, to be the vice president. Next, do I have any nomination for clerk?
Yes, Mr. Chang, I still have to say President Chang, don't I? All right, yes,
No
President.
longer president.
Right, President Gill, I'd like to nominate Joanna Lamb to be, board clerk.
I'll second.
Roll call, Mr. Song.
Aye.
Mrs. Lam,
Aye.
Mrs. Ryan,
Aye.
Mrs. Gill,
Aye.
Mr. Chen, aye, and the student board member Book. Motion carry. Congratulations. At this time, she and the nameplate will be rearranged. Oh, okay. So please take action now. You have to move.
Okay.
Here too.
Literally right now.
I'm taking my cookies.
Slides down.
Wait, what did I?
Normally she's just here.
Don't be shy.
Found at the end. Nice.
Big shame, though. Okay, at this time, we will appoint board committees and representatives for the following positions. These are the board appointed committees that we have to discuss. City Liaison, Health Benefits Committee, LAC Committee on School District Reorganization, LACSTA Representative, Legislative Representative, PTA Council Representative, Safety and Wellness Committee, San Marino Schools Foundation. We can start with the city liaison, and the current members of this committee are Mr. Chang and myself. As president, I'd like to stay on that, and I would like Mrs. Ryan to join me as vice president. If everyone's okay with that, we don't need to take a vote on this, right? This is just,
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not
okay.
till we've selected.
Oh, the total slate, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, Health Benefits Committee is currently Mr. Chang and Mr. Sung. Mr. Chang, would you
Yes.
still like to
Yeah.
do that? And Mr. Sung, would you like to stay on?
No.
No,
No,
okay.
okay.
Do we have another volunteer for that? I don't know that we need two.
Really need to.
Yeah.
It's not necessary.
I do feel confident in Mr. Chang handling that by himself. LAC Committee on School District Reorganization. It's currently Mrs. Ryan. Would you like to stay on that in case you're
Sure,
called
yes.
upon? I don't,
Yeah, unless someone wants to do it, I can stay on.
this is an as needed position,
Yeah.
right? So,
Mr. Song, you would like to do it or
No.
no? Okay.
okay, LACSTA representative, currently Mrs. Ryan as well.
I could stay on unless someone wants to do it.
Mrs.
Joanna?
Lamb.
Can do it.
Okay.
Okay. So it'll be Joanna and I, or just Joanna?
I think it's probably fine with just one member, unless you'd
Joanna?
like to be an
No.
alternate. Okay. Legislative representative is currently Ms. Lamb.
I can stay on it unless someone.
Is anyone else interested either? No? Okay, Ms. Lamb,
Yes, that sounds fine.
thank you. PTA Council Representative, that is typically the president and vice president, which I will take that. And Mrs. Ryan, would you like to continue with that?
Yes.
Okay, Safety and Wellness Committee, Mrs. Lamb and I currently take that.
I'm happy to stay on there, and if someone else wants it, I'm.
Mr. Sung, would you like to participate in that?
No.
No, okay.
I can,
Safety and wellness?
yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
So Joanne and Joseph.
Yeah, it's a very important committee. And then Schools Foundation, I will do with Vice President Ryan. Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the following list of committee members and representatives? I will read them as we have them written. City Liaison, Gil Ryan, Health Benefits Committee, Chang, LAC Committee on School District Reorg, Ryan, Laxta Representative, Lamb, Legislative Representative, Lamb, PTA Council Representative, Gil Ryan, Safety and Wellness Committee, Lamb Chang, San Marino Schools Foundation, Gil Ryan.
Board President, I think there is
I missing
one
one?
more AI committee.
Oh,
We have to add.
yeah, we should add the AI committee
Yeah.
to this list.
Okay.
It's actually AI task force, correct?
Task force.
Yeah.
I know that Mr. Sung is heading that up as our board representative.
Correct.
Joshua, you want to continue?
If you guys want it, I can take it down. And since I did last year.
No, you can.
No, yes, please continue if you will. Yes, please. Great. Do we need to memorialize the board representative for the bond update committee, the board subcommittee?
We should, yeah.
Okay, so I will continue on that as president and
I also like to continue.
Joseph wants to
if,
do it.
fine, okay. So adding to that motion, the above list I already read, plus the AI Task Force Committee, Mr. Sung, and then the Bond Board Subcommittee, Gil Chang. Do I have a motion?
So move.
Second, please.
Second,
Roll call. Mr. Chang,
Aye.
Mr. Sung,
Aye.
Ms. Lamb,
Aye.
Mrs. Ryan,
aye.
Mrs. Gill, aye. Student board member? Thank you. Okay. Okay, CSBA nominations. At this time, the Board of Education will nominate a CSBA delegate assembly representative. Do I have a motion to nominate for a CSBA delegate assembly representative? Anybody? Who's currently?
Mr. Sung.
Would you like to continue with the CSBA representative?
No.
Okay. Ms. Lamb, would you like to?
Yes, I can do it.
Great, thank you. Do I have a motion to approve Ms. Lamb as the CSBA delegate assembly rep?
Yeah.
So moved.
So moved.
Do I have a second, please?
Second.
Okay, roll call. Mr. Sung,
Aye.
Mr. Chang,
Aye.
Ms. Lamb,
Aye.
Mrs. Ryan,
Aye.
and Mrs. Gill, aye, and student board member Burke. Okay, thank you. D, compensation for board members. At this time, the Board of Education will discuss the board's monthly compensation. Just as a note, well, so in accordance with the provisions of AB 1390, Section 35120A5 of the California Education Code, board members of a district less than 10,000 ADA and more than 1,000 ADA are entitled to receive a maximum of $1,200 compensation per month, effective January 1st, 2026. The board will be asked to determine amount of compensation. I am in favor of waiving our compensation, and if you'd like to discuss.
You know, before we take action, I'm just curious, because for last 2 decades, always around the 240. How come right now jump to the 1,200?
That's the ed code.
They increased it recently. They reviewed it and increased it. Yeah, so it's been updated and you're right. It was not updated for many, 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 many years.
They realize how valuable our time is. But I'd like to volunteer my time for the school district. So Do I have a motion?
Motion?
Do I have a motion
So moved.
Second.
Or, yeah.
for waiving our
For waiving-
compensation?
For waiving compensation.
Okay. Moved by Mrs. Ryan, seconded by Ms. Lamb. Roll call, please. Mr. Chang,
Aye.
Mr. Sung,
Aye.
Ms. Lamb,
Aye.
Mrs. Ryan,
Aye.
Board Member Burke. Okay, motion carries. Thank you. All right, certification of signatures. The Board of Education will now certify signatures for board members. Mrs. Ryan, Mr. Sung, Ms. Lamb, Mrs. Gill, and Mr. Chang.
And this is to memorialize the new titles.
So do I have a motion to approve the certification of signatures?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call. Mr. Chang,
Aye.
Mr. Sung,
Aye.
Mrs. Lamb,
Aye.
Mrs. Ryan,
Aye.
Mrs. Gill, aye, and Student Board Member Burke. Thank you. Motion carries. Section 9, consent section. Do I have a motion to approve the consent section 9A through I?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call. Mr. Chang,
Aye.
Mr. Sung,
Aye.
Ms. Lamb,
Aye.
Mrs. Ryan,
Aye.
Mrs. Gill, aye, and Student Board Member Burke. Thank you. Motion carries. We're just moving right along here. Okay, section 10, communication section. Communications from the Board of Education. We ask that each board member take no more than 3 minutes to share their communications. And let's start with Mr. Chang.
December 2nd, I attend the middle school winter band concert. And then the same day morning, I attend San Marino PTA Council holiday meeting. And also for the last week, from the Wednesday to Friday, we are at the Sacramento to attend for California School Board Association conference. So I was very pleased I can attend several AI meetings with Mr. Song. I think I also get a lot of the knowledge and idea. Give me some the idea what we should go through. And one of the section is hosted by Anaheim Unit School District. I think they did a good job. So the conference, I think the topic, the content is very comprehensive through the policy and for the implementation, and also the network with the Orange County, some of the business owner. I think it's great that they are able to develop for their AI program within the 2 years. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Sung?
Yeah, I get a chance to attend the CSBA and get to experience some AI the improvement that other school districts making. I just had a conference with the e-cadence company that Anaheim district introduced with Mr. Kwok, and it seems to be their platforms, and it seems to be very interesting. So this is something that we can probably explore in the futures, and I hope that we can doesn't get behind and we can kind of move forward as much as we can. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Lamb?
Yeah, so I believe this is our last meeting of the year, and I want to take the moment to express my gratitude to my board. Thank you so much for serving and supporting and attending all the school events throughout the year. And also a thank you to our executive team who has led this district in all its glory. All of your dedication, your long hours, and the steady leadership this past year have made a real difference for our entire community, and I'm so honored to serve alongside you. And that is why I'm so grateful to have the opportunity to serve as clerk, and I look forward to supporting the board in that role this year and continuing our hard work. Thank you.
Thank
And have a
you.
really safe holiday.
Thank you.
Yes.
Mrs.
Thank
Ryan?
you. So I attended the CSBA conference, and the wonderful thing about the conference is that this year they focused a lot on affordable housing for our staff. They did a great job with a number of workshops for AI, as well as kind of looking at the overall sustainability of the school districts in terms of how things were financed and budgeted. It was cold in Sacramento, so I'm sure that if it was warmer, I might have gone out to a couple of the more earlier workshops. I also attended a holiday home tour, which benefited the Pasadena Symphony. And with that, I turn it over to you.
Thank you. My list reads like I was following around Mr. Chang. So I too attended the Huntington concert, CSBA, the PTA Council holiday brunch, and CSBA was very interesting. They kept repeating over and over how we are just on the cusp of change and we don't know what AI is bringing. And with that uncertainty brings a lot of opportunity. And I'm really proud of our district for getting out in front of it with our task force, creating a framework for responsible usership. Also, there's just so many ways that AI can benefit our students, and we need to recognize it for the tool that it is. And even in social emotional learning, which I was talking to Dr. Richter about a talk that I attended at CSBA, how the AI can take audio responses instead of a 1 to 5 on an open-ended question, instead of just saying, how do you feel like you belong here, 1 to 5? And they ask an open-ended question and the student talks about it. And then the AI takes the markers and gives us tangible data points that we can then make a plan from and next steps. And so there's some really exciting things coming down the pipeline. And I know our team's going to be all over it. So thank you. Oh, I attended, along with Mrs. Ryan and Dr. De La Torre, a Women in Leadership luncheon that was really well attended, really interesting, a great speaker from the former head judicial, what was exactly the
Judge.
title?
She's a judge.
The head of California. Oh, yes, the Chief of Justice of California during COVID. And so she talked about leadership and the unique challenges that that time brought upon. And she was amazing. So I'm excited for the year to come. And thank you to everyone for all your hard work. We know we don't do this alone. No one has an individual purchase here. It's just we have our unity of purpose and our shared moral imperative to make this the best district that we can for our students. So thank you. Dr. De La Torre?
I think it goes to the student board.
Oh,
members.
sorry. Sorry, Rowan, your turn.
Throughout the past few weeks, there have been many new activities and events that have occurred across the district. For example, the high school started off with their first ever Winterfest, where we provided a hot chocolate bar, Chana's food trucks, and numerous other activities like balloon artists, slime making, and candy. Overall, the event was a great break for students as they got ready for the upcoming busy finals season. The high school will remain busy in the coming weeks. Their upcoming winter sports assembly this Friday, the winter concert, and a band showcase. During this time, other schools across the district will start with a variety of spirit weeks, and the middle school will have their annual winter formal, followed by Valentine's winter concert performance and Carver's winter program. San Marino sports have gotten up to a strong start for the season as boys basketball starts 9-3, following a winning over Muir last night. Girls basketball starts off the season 2-4, following a tough loss to Cleveland. And boys soccer starts off 1-2 on tie. It's ties in soccer. So yeah. Following a win over San Gabriel Academy. In girls soccer, I believe won over Mayfield a couple days ago, and I didn't catch that game. I think they played
1-0, yeah. They're undefeated.
Yeah,
Mhm. Yeah,
they played Campbell Hall today, right?
yes,
Mhm.
yes. Thank you.
Okay.
Dr. Delatorre.
Thank you, Madam President. I too attended the CSBA conference in Sacramento. Vice President Brian is correct. It was very, very cold. But we bundled up and we attended a lot of the sessions, and it was a good opportunity for us to network with many other of the surrounding school districts and talk a lot with School Services of California and AXA leaders to really determine the direction of our state in terms of education moving forward. And the theme that we continued to hear throughout the conference was that things are going to be changing drastically in education over the next 3 years. We are going to be receiving a new governor very soon, right? So that is one big change. And the governor has a lot of influence over how public schools in California are funded. I was talking earlier with my team about the fact that Governor Brown was very much into local control for school districts. Governor Gavin Newsom took over, and then he sort of went back to categorical funding. And so we received a lot of restricted funds for certain specific projects or programs, and there was a lot of accountability built into that. We do know that our economy is very slow growing, and that Prop 98, which is 40% of the state budget, is going to be growing very slowly, as predicted by the Legislative Analyst's Office, UCLA, and School Services of California. So we know that our COLA, our cost of living, was projected for 26-27 to be at over 3%, and that is now projected to be at 2.51% for 26-27. So those numbers are going to be updated soon. We are also going to be getting a new superintendent of public instruction, which will, really change the influence in terms of the direction of education. So we need to be prepared for anything that comes down the pike. There could be some major shifts in how school districts are funded, depending on who gets elected and who has the influence in Sacramento. So the PACE report is something that's being talked about a lot amongst the education community. And for those of you who don't know, the PACE report is the policy analysis for California education, and they analyze major issues affecting TK through 12th grade or post-secondary education in California. PACE reports are widely used by state education leaders, district administrators, and researchers. And they look at things like governance and accountability in public school systems, funding adequacy and equity, student achievement and opportunity gaps, chronic absenteeism, teacher workforce and preparation, early childhood expansion, etc. And the report that was recently released, you can Google it and get a summary of it, really focuses on the need for an overhaul of our education system. There's just a lot of bureaucracy and redundancy built in, and we need a more streamlined approach to education. It is believed that there are overlapping agencies, unclear lines of responsibility between those agencies, and uneven support, which undermines a lot of the state level initiatives that we have, such as the governor's initiative for universal transitional kindergarten, and the statewide efforts to close achievement gaps and strategies to reduce chronic absenteeism. We're very fortunate in San Marino that we really don't have a lot of those issues. We're also very fortunate in San Marino that we're not one of the 56% of all school districts in the state of California that are currently declining in enrollment for two major reasons. People are moving out of the state of California because it is unaffordable. That's the first. And the second is we have the lowest birth rate in California in our history. So since 2007, the birth rate has decreased by 31% in California alone. And so I think the unaffordability issue and the birth rate might go hand in hand, but it is an issue that will affect most public schools in California for sure. And I'm just very grateful that San Marino is what we call a destination district, and that we are not declining, we're stable, and we're even growing. And so that is a very good problem to have. So we're very, very fortunate on that front. We're not, looking at what we can reduce. We're not looking at making reductions like many of the other school districts. We're not looking at closing schools. We're looking at artificial intelligence. We're looking at bringing dual enrollment opportunities to our middle school. We're looking at the possibility of dual language immersion program expansion at the other elementary school. We're looking at career technical education programs at San Marino High School and how we can improve the experience that our students are having at each one of our schools. And isn't that a gift? And that is a gift because of the people that we have in San Marino, the Board of Education that we have, the experts that come together to make decisions in the best interest of our students. We are so very fortunate in our community to have such great leadership. And so I am very grateful, especially around the holiday season, to be surrounded by such wonderful people who really do care about kids. And I think that's pretty amazing. And I do share that with my colleagues. I had the opportunity to connect with many of them at CSBA, for which I am very grateful. And they are very envious of San Marino and of my team and my board and the community. So thanks to every one of you for the role that you play. And San Marino will continue to evaluate any legislative and policy developments that come down from the state. We're going to continue to engage with stakeholders and be as informed as we can be and share that knowledge with our community members, our students, our parents, our teachers. We just have, the best of the best in the classrooms. We're going to continue to evaluate internal governance alignment and communicate transparently on all things. That is our goal. And that's one of the reasons why, we have a public information officer now, because the board has really placed an emphasis on being transparent in terms of all communications with the community. So there shouldn't be any secrets. Everything is out in the open. We want our community to be educated and informed, and our students to get the best experience they can. And that is all. I'm going to turn it back over to you, Madam President.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay, moving on. Item 11, information items. A Measure M update. I'd like to turn it over to Dr. Stephen Choi to update the board on the progress and current standing of Measure M.
Thank you, President Gill, members of the board, and student member Burke. Tonight, we will have some action items related to Measure M on the agenda, many of which involve early impact projects at the high school and the middle school. In the spirit of transparency, each action item includes a cover sheet outlining the scope, cost, and more importantly, the rationale or why for the project. We'll have the opportunity to present each item individually and discuss and address any questions before taking action. And before I turn it over to CJ, I want to share that the Citizens Bond Oversight Committee met on November 20th for a bond program update, and we'll meet again on January 15th in the new year. And as a reminder, CBOC agendas, minutes, and meeting dates are available on the Measure M webpage of the district website. All CBOC meetings are open to the public in the boardroom. We also continue to provide outreach to share Measure M updates and gather input. Last week, I had the opportunity to present at the Valentine faculty meeting about our budget and highlighted Measure M projects. Earlier today, CJ, Rochelle, and I had the opportunity to share an overview of Carver's Measure M projects with the Carver PTA and families. Over the next 2 weeks, we will hold additional user group meetings as part of the design process to gather feedback from faculty and staff to gain input on the Phase 1 projects. We truly value having the opportunity to interact and have real-time conversations about Measure M. With that, I'll turn it over to CJ for more updates.
Good evening, President Gill, members of the board, Superintendent Dr. De La Torre. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to give you an update on where we're at with Measure M. Starting with our major Phase 1 projects at Valentine, we have received the title report, and we're currently having our survey team map that to the drawings, and we have a meeting with our architect to finalize the outcome of that, which will result in where we can place that 2-story building over at Valentine Elementary School. Excuse me. We also have our user group meeting scheduled for this week, where we'll be going over classroom standards and other functionality for the 2-story building to review with staff. And over at Carver, as Dr. Choi previously mentioned, we met with the PTA today to review all of their ongoing projects. And we really went into detail of for the TK kindergarten classroom buildings and that drop-off situation for the campus. Seems like there are a lot of constraints that we're working through, but it seems like we have some options that we're going to be reviewing at our first user group meeting with Carver staff next week. And once we meet with staff for both Valentine and Carver, we'll be able to finalize those site plans, and then we'll be completing our schematic design and moving on to design development. Over at San Marino High School for the medical arts modernization, today we've met with our architect team with Huckabee, and we reviewed several design options for the classroom layouts of the existing building. One of the layouts takes advantage of the existing library building and relocating the career center to repurpose that library space as a potential career center. This seems like a very attractive option in terms of the blessing of growing enrollment and needing some additional classroom space that we'll be able to utilize while modernizing the existing building, if that's the direction the board and the campus want to take. We should have those final design meetings, those final designs for review in the upcoming weeks. We also, on top of that, across all the school sites, we've scheduled regular bi-weekly meetings to serve just as touch points with each of the sites. As we're beginning and getting further into design and starting to implement some of these early impact projects, it's important to get that feedback and hear those concerns and hear the needs from the sites directly. So setting aside that time will be hugely beneficial to Measure M. Moving on straight into the early impact projects, we have our playground modernizations, and with those bi-weekly meetings, we have our meeting on Thursday with the two elementary schools, where we're going to be reviewing some of our playground options and our renderings, and we're also going to be looking at opportunities on how we can engage students, whether it be through a student council or possibly setting up renderings at lunch for students to place a sticker and vote, or provide some feedback or input on the selection. Prior to that, we're going to be meeting with site administration to whittle down some of those options and hopefully refine that so that we can gather that student input. Furthermore, for the bids, we have several bids on the board agenda tonight for approval. We have the concessions restroom modernization at San Marino High School. We have the auditorium security fencing at San Marino High School. And we also have the Huntington Middle School roof replacement. These were all bid over the course of mid-October to December 3rd, with hopes of completing some of this work or starting this work over the winter break. And in addition to that, we also have our synthetic turf and track replacement agenda item on the agenda for approval. This item has been separated into two separate agenda items, one for the track and one for the synthetic turf. If we recall, we took some time to review this with legal counsel, and there's a new pilot program that the state passed specifically for turf that changes the percentage of allowable labor on a CMAS contract. So just to stay compliant with public contract law, we are separating our track from the turf components of that project. In addition, because of those percentage constraints, we eliminated the demolition portion from that original contract, and we will be bidding that out over the next several weeks. We've already proactively received a bid from the same turf manufacturer, but we'll also be accepting bids from other vendors as well. And then lastly, to dive into a little bit more detail on the roof replacement project, as you all know, we did a complete district-wide roof assessment over the summer, and we've identified some of our most critically in need of repair roofs. And the four identified right now are at Huntington Middle School over some of the portable locations. So we have on the agenda for tonight, we have the roofing materials purchased through a discounted CMAS rate. And then we also bid out the labor for installing or replacing the roof structure itself. So the labor for replacing the roof was competitively bid, and we received a competitively bid CMAS rate for materials through the state as well. And then lastly, moving on to procurement and contracting. Since the last board meeting, we approved the criteria for the leaseback contractors. We are currently compiling and preparing that RFQ package to have that advertised in the upcoming weeks. It's a little bit of a tricky timing with the holidays coming up. So we're just trying to get a schedule out for that and hopefully have interviews towards the early part of 2026. And lastly, we concluded our CEQA RFQ process, and we will be having interviews and meetings with some of those CEQA consultants this week, where we'll be going over project details and getting proposals for CEQA consulting services. That will be hugely critical to projects like the Carver Elementary School TK and kindergarten classroom, where the CEQA consultant will be the professional that will be conducting the traffic study and all that related work for that drop-off area. And with that, that concludes my Measure M update for today. If you guys have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer them.
Questions?
Yes. CJ, I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about the turf project and the expected life expectancy of this project, as well as the track, as well as the roofing. For me, it's just understanding the timeline, because when everything is due, like if everything has a life of 10 years, then we have to anticipate how we're going to budget that. And also with the restrooms, the material that you're choosing, what is the expectancy on those?
So I'm going to just start with the turf and the track. So the turf typically will have a 10 to 15 year lifespan, and that really is dependent on how much use you put into the turf or put on the turf. And the track has a very similar lifespan to that as well. What we will be doing is working with Gil to prepare a deferred maintenance plan so that those costs can be forecasted and projected, and not be surprises in that 10 to 15 year window.
And the warranty term?
The warranty term for the turf is 10 years.
And then, so now the restrooms?
The restrooms, the finished materials, we are doing tile along the walls, and we are also what's called sack and patching some of the concrete to create a smooth finish. Right now, those restrooms have a block wall finish that has a very cold aesthetic to it. And we're also going to be replacing the partitions and replacing the fixtures in there as well. When it comes to exact colors, we'll be working with the site and the campus to match either existing or seek approval from the board or site administration. Lastly, the roof replacement has a 20-year warranty. And that work is inspected by the roofing manufacturer throughout installation, and they provide the roofing manufacturer themselves provides that warranty. It also is very complementary to the dry zone program that we previously approved, where our same roofing manufacturer is able to make those repairs across the district, identify roofs that need to also be replaced, or identify any defects. If we replace a roof and we have issues, they'll be able to correct them for free. So I think that was all. Did I miss one?
And the restroom refresh is taking place over winter break?
Yeah, we are trying to start that over winter break.
So I didn't hear the lifespan of the restroom refresh. Like how often do we?
Because there's a multitude of materials in there, it's harder to give an exact number. But with anything we do, we're trying to keep our facilities like 15 to 20 years, 20 years really being that goal. And with the materials that we're using, like the tile and other long-lasting materials, we shouldn't have any issues with it lasting that long, other than possibly like vandalism or some destructive use or something like that.
Mhm, mhm. Okay. Also, I don't know if it's in the right phase that I'm asking you this, but in terms of care and maintenance, not only of our turf and track, but of the restrooms, like sometimes we choose a flooring that is difficult to clean, it's more expensive, it's not conducive in terms of wear and tear, because if you have 1,000 flushes versus other things. So are we looking at any of that in terms of longevity and what we're
Absolutely. When we first design and specified these materials, we worked directly with Gil and our maintenance department to specify the district standards and specify products that will last, especially on the concessions restroom where it's going to be heavily used. That is essentially why it is a block building now. We are just trying to use just as long-lasting materials, but that have a better aesthetic and a more welcoming environment.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? All right.
Is that we start to prepare, notify the neighborhood resident. Dr. Choi, when we start to for the PR issue, is that we will have a town hall meeting or we may not have a.
We'll have a lot of opportunities to connect with the community to keep them abreast of what types of projects are coming and which neighbors or which residents will be affected. In fact, we've been meeting and talking about building a database so that we know which groups to notify. And that's why it's so important for our community members to sign up for M-Alerts. Because when those alerts come out, we want to make sure we send them to the right groups of folks. So yes, so please continue to let folks know to sign up for the Measure M alerts. It is on our district webpage and our Measure M webpage. And we intend to notify them through various means. Okay.
Thank you. We're excited for what's to come.
Yeah.
Okay, 11B, I'd like to turn it over to Dr. Jason Rose to present item 11B, teaching assignment monitoring outcomes.
All right. Thank you, President Gill, Board of Education, Superintendent Dr. De La Torre, and Executive Cabinet, and Student Member Burke. Teaching assignment monitoring outcomes is a data tool that helps determine if teachers are properly assigned to classrooms and are prepared to teach the classes they are assigned. The California Department of Education releases this data annually and requires that it be shown during an open board session. Tonight, I'm sharing with you the most recent data release, which encompasses the 2023-2024 school year. So it's a couple years back. The CDE believes this data can help a district understand teacher preparation by determining if teachers are fully prepared to teach the classes they are assigned, identify misassignments by determining if a school has more teachers placed in the wrong classes than other schools in the district, identify subject area shortages by determining if a district has shortages of fully prepared teachers in a specific subject area, or just identify areas for improvement by revealing where to focus on teacher recruitment and retention. The CDE evaluates each teaching assignment along one or more attributes to determine if the teacher is authorized to teach the course and the students enrolled in it. The data is then is aggregated and displayed for the following outcomes. If you remember last year, I need to stress again that these are the CDE's terms and not ours. So teachers get identified as either being clear, out of field, ineffective, intern, incomplete, unknown, or not applicable. And I think it's important to know that for our out of field, that area is area that the CDE has authorized the board to assign teachers. So they are not misassigned. So that is a legal assignment for the teacher. So they just happen to call it something different. So it's out of field. And then also in the last few years, credentials have become much, much more specialized and narrow, specifically in the world of special education. And so this chart represents our data for 2023, 2024. Carver, as you can see, no issues. They were 100%. Everyone is clear. HMS had 7 sections. So when I say 7 sections, that means like 7 periods that were out of field, but those are all authorized, so there's nothing wrong with that. And then 4.5 sections of incomplete. And incomplete just means that they weren't able to make a decision based on whatever information they received. So it doesn't necessarily mean there was anything wrong. It just means the CDE was not able to make a determination. So that's HMS. San Marino High School had 10 sections that were out of field. That's where you get the 4.6%. There were 7 sections that were considered ineffective. Those all dealt either with special education or with ELD. And then there were 14 sections that were incomplete. And then for Valentine, the 2 sections, there were 2 teachers that were quote unquote ineffective. Those were a special education teacher and a long-term sub that we had. So those were the 2 for that. And both of those have been corrected. So that takes care of that. This just kind of shows us, I figured you might want to see compared to last year. It looks very similar to the previous year. So the far left or the blue is how we did in 22-23. Then the darker one almost looks black up there is 23-24. And then how we compare to the county and then to the state. So we are above everyone, the average county and the state. And then same things for where we fall in all the other categories, which is out of field, intern, ineffective, and incomplete. And then last but not least, I'm taking my lessons from Dr. Richter. I'm trying to add to my slides for you guys. So this just shows, once again, it's the same numbers for our schools, but also shows us overall as a district. This is kind of what that previous graph, but in number form. So where we are as a district, and then how that compares to the county and to the state. Any questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Rose. Item 12, action items. 12A, I'd like to turn it over again to Dr. Rose to present resolution number 10, declaring volunteers to be deemed as employees for purposes of workers' compensation pursuant to Labor Code 3364.5.
All right, thank you again, President Gill. California Labor Code 3364.5 in conjunction with Education Code, Section 35021, authorizes the district to deem volunteers as employees for the purpose of workers' compensation. However, this can only be done under the board's adoption of a formal resolution. So what this does is this entitles our volunteers to benefits for injuries sustained while performing services under the direction of the governing board or the superintendent while limiting our liability. By adopting this type of resolution, the school district makes the workers' compensation system the sole remedy for any injured volunteer. This resolution would ensure that our volunteers receive consistent coverage and prompt medical care for all those who dedicate so much of their time to our schools and our students. And I just think it's the right thing to do as a way of saying thank you to all of our generous volunteers. By passing this resolution, the district ensures that its generous volunteers are properly protected under the workers' compensation system while aligning benefits with risk and legal requirements. It is recommended that the board adopt this resolution and authorize the district to deem volunteers as employees for the purpose of workers' compensation.
I have a question.
Sure.
So what is the definition for volunteer? I know the Board of Fire school board member is probably top tier the volunteer, but besides that, who are the volunteer? Is that
it would be anyone who would come onto our campuses who were serving some purpose to help our school. So it could be someone as far as a parent working in the classroom. It could be, for instance, at Carver, our traffic safety. It could be those folks. It could be anyone working the football game at the high school. It could be in any capacity like that. It could be our grad night folks.
So,
Chaperone.
is that our work compensation, is that also from JPA or the difference?
Yes.
Yes, JPA.
So once we have this resolution, what is the impact in the financial? I mean, the rate and how much it will increase?
It might increase us a little bit, but what it does is it protects us then from a civil suit. So for instance, if we have someone who hurts themselves, their path would then be through the workers' compensation system, which has rules and has limits and everything, as opposed to then just filing a lawsuit.
Yeah, but I mean, right now we adopt the volunteer, also give the worker comp. So then I think that will have a big impact on the financial.
We brought it up in the JPA meeting. It will have a little impact. It won't have a major impact.
You know, for
They did not give us an exact number though.
yeah, but I think you guys have to pay attention to figure out. We don't want the later have a very big surprise.
Yeah.
I'm in this industry. I'm all the time looking for how many the work injury, and then once they get a report and they jump the rate.
Right.
I can tell you over the last, 36 years that I've been here,
Yeah.
we've had very few, like I can count them on one hand.
Yes.
Injuries from volunteers.
Mhm.
And we have processed them, even though we didn't have the resolution,
Mhm.
as work comp. And so and it was negligible, the cost. It is far less expensive for us to go through the workers' compensation, which is a managed plan with limitations in place, as opposed to them filing a civil suit and asking for damages. Not that they would do that, because most of our volunteers are parents, and parents don't want to position themselves in an adversarial, situation for the most part. So, and we take really good care of them. So we have a clinic that they have to go to through the work comp system. Right?
Mhm.
We have a nurse line. We follow up with them. And so it's usually, they go to like an urgent care clinic, they're treated, and then they're released.
For the full-time or part-time, our employee, is that we have an annual like education to them, like they have to pass some the test or the reading.
Well,
And you give the certificate say you pass for the annual update. What I'm trying to say, because if a volunteer is not our employee and then they get into our school district, just like any volunteer, you need to give them the orientation.
correct.
Right? So then
So they all receive.
not because if a part of our liability, then we try to minimize those work injury. So is that we also need to start to implement some the education.
So
Yeah.
they already go through a little of an orientation, but starting January 1, all our volunteers will now be required to go through the same orientation that all of our employees
Mhm.
do. So that may deter some of our volunteers from volunteering because they won't be able to just show up and work in the classroom. They will have to go through all of those trainings that all our employees have to do before they step foot into the classroom to volunteer.
And for years, we have developed a training and orientation program through Target Solutions for all of our chaperones that accompany our students on trips outside of the school district and potentially even overnight trips, out of state, trips. And so they have to go through the chaperone training, which is pretty substantive and comprehensive. So that they understand that as a chaperone, they have to follow the same rules and procedures as any employee of the district when the students are in their care and under their supervision. And that's been really successful. I don't think that we've had any problems since we implemented that training at all, zero. And before that, we did have some challenges, so.
Great, yeah.
Good questions.
But so this, you would have to go through that orientation. You couldn't just walk onto campus, fall down, and then you'd be covered by the workers' comp.
So.
Or
As a
would you?
volunteer, right? As a volunteer, because we have a lot of people come onto our campus
Right,
because we have
yeah.
host a lot of public events, and any member of the public can come onto our campus, attend a football game, you know, our spotlight events or what have you. And we've had injury claims from members of the public coming onto our campus and falling or hurting themselves. We're less likely to have volunteers that fill out a volunteer application and go through some kind of an orientation, you know, filing a claim for an injury. It just doesn't usually happen. That's not where you see the trend of claims happening. And so that will further decrease when you implement, you know,
Right.
training for every volunteer.
And that's not a Jason decision or a San Marino decision. That is now a requirement from the state.
Yeah.
Is it parent drivers also get covered?
Mhm.
Yeah, sometimes, you know,
Mhm.
parent needs to drive them.
So everything is going to become more,
Driver, you have to show that you have a certain level of insurance.
Yes, the car insurance, but the workers' comp's gonna come as an umbrella or top
The
of it.
workers' comp would not
workers' comp will be when you're,
purpose.
it all depends in what capacity you're serving.
If you're a driver, you're just driving kids to and from an event,
Mhm.
I think that's different because you have to show that you have liability insurance at a certain level
Mhm.
that the JPA requires in order for you to transport students. But you're not really serving as a volunteer in the classroom, you're not on our property. You're not working again as a volunteer.
On site is.
It's really on site.
And to Mr. Chang's question, our JPA is recommending that we do this.
To
They are
them.
advising us to do this.
It's on the other side of the house.
So Jason, my question is, I think Mr. Chang might be, tripped out by the word employees, deemed as employees.
Mhm.
So as volunteers, they're allowed to, if they are injured, go under our workman's compensation, right?
Correct.
Under the labor code, 3364.5. However, are they eligible for any other compensations other than that? Because, say say a volunteer who is deemed as an employee trips, falls, and is injured,
Mhm.
then the claim goes through our workman's comp,
Correct.
and he or she is out of work. And then that continues to keep them out of work. There's some sort of support for that
Correct.
person. Even though most of our volunteers are stay-at-home parents, I could just see that if there was any kind of compensation and it was long ongoing, is there any effects to our I guess our portion of the,
Like our rate, or is that what?
well, he already asked the rate one, but I'm just wondering what else might be under the category of employee. Like, as an employee, I'm entitled, you're entitled to certain things. The five of us are volunteers, right? Because you just saw us give up all of the money. So I'm just saying, at what, like, how does it support us? Just that I don't sue you if I fall, or just that our workman's comp is paying for all of my,
That's one of the main things. It's a liability protection. That is one of the major benefits of this.
But they don't sue us, but if they are unable to work, they are then being paid under the
They're
workers'
not going to
comp.
get any compensation or payment. They're just going to be treated under the work comp system because we're not paying them as volunteers, right? They don't get any compensation. They're
Yeah,
not
we don't owe
employees.
them money.
I know, so then why call them employees?
It's a term that they get treated as employees for the injury.
Oh,
So they get
like
they get
medical
so we
treatment.
send them on behalf of San Marino Unified and they to the clinic and they get treated.
Mhm.
Triaged,
Okay.
but they don't get any compensation because they're not in a paid position. But I can see where there would
I
be
think the
confusion.
word treated also gives sort of a different, it
So,
can give.
so mean they can claim, the loss, like if,
Mm-mm,
no?
No.
no.
So Rowan, you're gonna have to fall down somewhere else.
I've seen it happen with like volunteer coaches. Like often, like we've had a couple basketball coaches, they'll scrimmage with us. We had one guy break
Oh, no.
or bruise a rib
Okay.
recently, a couple fingers, but yeah, happens.
Ribs, couple of fingers.
Drag him off of
Yes.
our school property.
Just.
Yeah,
Only
get them off our
practice.
property. Now that you know.
Everywhere though.
From my own perception, once they add this benefit, I cannot imagine how we can take care financially.
It's not, it really isn't,
It won't.
it's gonna be negligible.
But
Okay.
People are-
you don't have to, it's
Yeah.
it's just recommended you don't. If you,
People are not lining up to file workers' comp claims because there's so many limitations and oftentimes the people in our community want to go to their own doctors and use their own insurance. They don't want to have to go to, the clinic in Pasadena. That's been our experience. So, I mean, this is maybe one or two people
and the other,
every other
the
year.
other piece I feel is the JPA believes that then with our internship program, that then our students would be covered under this as well. So that's one of the benefits as well.
Our students are also
Our students who would be interning, they would then be
under
covered
workman's
under this. Mhm.
workers.
Okay, if there are no further questions, do I have a motion to approve Resolution 10, declaring volunteers to be deemed as employees for purposes of workers' comp pursuant to Labor Code 3364.5?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call. Mr. Chang,
Aye.
Mr. Sung,
Aye.
Ms. Lamb,
Aye.
Mrs. Ryan,
Aye.
Mrs. Gill, aye. Mr. Burke?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes. 12B, I'd like to turn it back over to Dr. Rose to present the second reading of Board Policy 4119.24, maintaining appropriate adult-student interactions.
All right, thank you again, President Gill. Tonight I present to you a second reading of Board Policy 4119.24 and also 4219.24 and 4319.24, which encompasses appropriate adult-student interactions. Once again, this would be a new board policy. As a reminder, recently passed legislation, SB 848, adds Education Code Section 32100 to require school districts, county offices of education, and charter schools to adopt written policies that address appropriate boundaries between adults and pupils and establishes appropriate limitations on out-of-school contact and communications. And this has to be done by July 1 of 2026. The proposed policies are based on the California School Board Association's framework recommendation. There are three versions of the policy, as there was last time. 4100 policies apply to certificated, 4200 to classified, and 4300 to management, confidential, and supervisory individuals. The only change that was suggested after the first reading was to item number 11, where it was recommended to remove the words without prior authorization. So now item number 11 reads, transporting a student in a personal vehicle. And then other than that change, the remaining text of the policy remains the same. So it is recommended that the board approve and authorize the proposed updated board policy 4119.24. Any questions?
Any questions? Okay, if not, do I have a motion to approve the second reading of Board Policy 4119.24, maintaining appropriate adult-student interactions?
Move to approve.
Second.
Roll call, please. Mr. Chang,
Aye.
Mr. Sung,
Aye.
Ms. Lamb,
Aye.
Mrs. Ryan,
Aye.
Mrs. Gill, aye. Mr. Burke? Thank you. Motion approved. 12C, back to Dr. Rose to present the second reading of Board Policy 4219.24, maintaining appropriate adult-student interaction.
All right, thank you again, President Gill. 4219.24 is exactly the same. We are changing number 11. We are removing the words without prior authorization. So it now reads transporting a student in a personal vehicle. Once again, the 4200s apply to classified staff. So it is recommended that the board approve and authorize the proposed updated board policy 4219.24.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, roll call. Mr. Chang,
Aye.
Mr. Sung,
Aye.
Mrs. Lamb,
Aye.
Mrs. Ryan,
Aye.
Mrs. Gill, aye, and Mr. Burke.
Aye.
Motion approved. 12D, Dr. Rose.
All right. For the last time, thank you, President Gill. Once again, 4319.24. This now applies to management, confidential, and supervisory individuals. Once again, item number 11, the words without prior authorization were recommended for removal. And so now it reads transporting a student in a personal vehicle. So it is recommended that the board approve and authorize the proposed board policy 4319.24.
Okay, and with that change, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, roll call. Mr. Chang,
Aye.
Mr. Sung,
Aye.
Ms. Lamb,
Aye.
Mrs. Ryan,
Aye.
Mrs. Gill, aye, Mr. Burke. Thank you. Motion approved. 12E, I'd like to turn it over to Dr. Stephen Choi to present the first interim financial report and long-range financial projections to the Board of Education for approval. Dr.
Thank
Choi.
you. Thank you, President Gill, members of the board, and student member Burke. Item 12E is the first interim financial report. This is a routine action item that all school districts must submit to the County Office of Education by December 15th each year. Beyond meeting state compliance requirements, this report gives us an important snapshot of our finances. While you have the full SACS report and the narrative, which provides a detailed analysis of our budget, tonight's presentation will highlight the most important components. State law requires school districts to report their fiscal condition and multi-year budget projections twice a year, once by October 31st and again by January 31st. The board is then required to certify whether the district can meet its financial obligations for the current and next 2 fiscal years. This is an overview of the 25-26 budget cycle. The board adopted the budget on June 24th, and tonight's first interim provides a snapshot of revenues and expenditures through October 31st. Looking forward, on March 10th, you will receive a second interim report, which includes data through January 31st. And then finally, on September 8th of next year, the board will review the unaudited actuals to close out the fiscal year. There are 3 possible certifications for interim reports: negative, qualified, or positive. On behalf of our accounting team, who spent many hours preparing this first interim report, and under the leadership of our Director of Accounting, Ms. Susanna Barber, I'm pleased to report that SMUSD is recommending a positive certification. This means that the district can meet its financial obligations for the current year and for the next 2 years. Our revenue assumptions this year are based primarily on an increase in enrollment, which in turn drives an increase in average daily attendance. We also anticipate receipt of local revenues from donations and parcel taxes. The 25-26 COLA is at 2.3%, and the Legislative Analyst's Office projects a COLA of 2.51% for 26-27 and 3.7% in 27-28. We examine our revenues more closely. This slide compares key assumptions in our adopted budget with those in the first interim. In other words, one column shows what we thought at the start of the year, and the other column shows us where we are. Compared to the adopted budget, enrollment is projected to increase by 214 students. This increase in ADA results in approximately $2.2 million in additional projected LCFF revenue for the 25-26 fiscal year. Our unduplicated pupil percentage also increased, resulting in additional supplemental funding. We are projecting slight increases in federal and special education revenues, while revenues from the foundation and parcel taxes are expected to remain stable this year. These are strong indicators for our district, especially given that many districts across California continue to experience declining enrollment. And as noted in the SACS narrative, our enrollment growth reflects the strength of our innovative programs, including the Mandarin Dual Language Immersion Program and the Titan Medical Arts Academy. Furthermore, the expansion of TK eligibility for students who turn 4 by September 1st has contributed to this growth. Here's another representation of our general fund revenues. LCFF accounts for 64.7% of total revenues, comprising of property taxes and state aid. Approximately a quarter of our funding comes from local sources, including parcel taxes, the Schools Foundation, and PTAs. Federal funds represent only about 2% of our budget. The significant share of local revenues highlights the enormous value of community support in sustaining our educational programs. On the expenditure side, our exemptions reflect negotiated salary increases, stepping column movement, and pension contributions. PERS rates are projected to increase to 26.9% in 26-27 and 27.8% in 27-28. We also anticipate cost increases in supplies, services, and utilities. Special education remains significantly underfunded statewide, requiring ongoing general fund contributions. This table summarizes the key expenditure adjustments compared to the adopted budget. Across salaries and benefits, books and supplies, operating expenditures, and equipment, the increases are largely reasonable given the rise in student enrollment. One notable factor contributing to higher operating expenditures is the recent Measure R parcel tax election bill. This expense underscores the importance of exploring creative strategies to reduce future costs, including the possibility of consolidating our two parcel taxes and reducing the frequency of future elections. This chart reflects a familiar pattern. Personnel costs make up the majority of our expenditures. At first interim, salaries and benefits account for 76.7% of total spending, consistent with prior years and typical for California school districts. Based on current assumptions, we began the year with a beginning balance of $25.2 million and project an improved ending balance of $26.3 million. We continue to maintain the required 3% reserve for economic uncertainties. Other assigned balances include unrestricted and restricted carryover, $900,000 for board goals, $4.4 million in our positions retention assigned balance, which is set aside should Measure E or any of our parcel taxes not be renewed, $1.5 million for instructional materials, and $1 million for program innovations. Additionally, the district committed $3.5 million for future fiscal stabilization and $2.5 million to buffer against potential declining enrollment. We get asked, why set aside these reserves? The answer is simple. While San Marino Unified is a destination district, and we are fortunate to see enrollment growth this year, we cannot assume that trend will continue indefinitely. These reserves provide one-time funding that allows us to navigate potential downturns while minimizing layoffs or program cuts. They give us the ability to proactively plan rather than react with the kind of drastic reductions many other districts are facing today. This is prudent, strategic budgeting, shaped by lessons learned from prior years. And I want to commend the board for your foresight in safeguarding the district's long-term stability. In closing, I'm pleased to report that the SMUSD remains on solid financial footing for the 25-26 school year. Our enrollment gains reflect the strength of our programs, the dedication of our faculty and staff, and the community's priorities. Based on the analysis presented this evening, SMUSD is projected to meet its financial obligations for the current and next 2 fiscal years. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve the 25-26 first interim report and submit a positive certification to the Los Angeles County Office of Education.
Can you go back to the expenditure? Okay. So the book and the supply, the difference about a million. So what's the reason?
The reason, because of the increases, it's very much aligned with the growth of our students, the number of enrolled students.
Because of the more student and
yes,
okay.
Yes.
How about the operating expenditure? 875.
So of that 875, we did put in the budget as a liability the $668,000 invoice received from the county of Los Angeles. As a liability. It doesn't mean that we're paying off that amount in full, but it is part of what included in our budget.
As that lump sum.
Yes.
Not as the payment plan.
Right.
So I was looking at that too, the books and supplies. So if that is because of the increased student population, it's about half as much as the increased revenue that they are bringing. So, and if 75% of the budget is employees, which has also gone up because of increased student population, I mean, are we actually coming out ahead by having more students? Do you understand what I'm getting at? Like with these increased expenses, are they?
Right. I can't say that the entire change for books and supplies, for example, the $1.137 million is directly correlated with exact student growth.
Yeah.
But in terms of where the changes are, it's very much in line. We don't see any significant bumps. You know, even with equipment, it's analogous and in line with the change in student enrollment.
And I know we did approve some new textbooks, science and math, and what else did we?
Not math yet. Math
Not
is
math.
coming down the
It's
line.
coming.
Math's coming down the line, and we are in line to pilot science for our elementary schools, starting at the end of February, the end of January, beginning of February, with the hopes of making a recommendation for adoption to the Board of Education by April or May. Some of those costs, Dr. Toy, correct me if I'm wrong, also are contributed by the increased grade in MDLI. We have to purchase additional textbooks for Mandarin Dual Language Immersion Program to accommodate the new second grade classroom this year.
And then we'll have to do that again for third year.
For third grade.
So it's going to be an ongoing expense until we build it out to 12.
Correct.
Are we going to 12, all the way to 12?
Right now, I'm looking at solidifying the elementary level and then maybe next year starting to look at what middle school may look like.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Any other questions?
Can you go back to the revenue? Yeah, assumption. Okay, so school foundation so far, right now already December, is that they commit about 1.7?
That is what
Or
we budgeted for.
They
Yes.
budget, but
For the year.
they were able to give the 1.7?
Um,
That number with me. Have they confirmed it with you?
no, this is what they projected their contribution to be, and that's what we put in the budget as a revenue.
I thought it's lower to down to the 1.5, no?
I have not heard that yet.
So Stephen, you mentioned that the assumptions had to do with the student enrollment, the strength of our growth in terms of that. Do we have any other assumptions that you're making in terms of this comparison and what's going to happen? Like, obviously, we did not anticipate the extra funding for the bond, right? For the vote, the election.
Oh,
But
partial tax election.
parcel, no, the bond, right?
The invoice for that.
Invoice for that. And then
So that's-
we have to take care of the second parcel tax that's coming up next year. Is that in any of the projected assumptions? And as well, we've been getting increased fees for, trash, sewage, all of that. Is that reflected on there? Is there a line item?
So the first interim is a snapshot up until October 31st. So this is the best information we have up until that point. So as of October 31st, for example, the election invoice, we know about that. So that's included as a part of our revenue, as part of our expenditure assumptions. In terms of other assumptions, for example, if the board considers to put forth a resolution to have the parcel taxes consolidate, for example, we haven't arrived at yet. So I can't make that. We can't make that assumption in the budget at this point.
Any other assumptions about the students that we acquired after the fire, or any of those numbers in terms of?
So the numbers that we have are based on CBED's data, which is up until the first Wednesday of October. So as we approach the second interim, we might have better attendance data. So even with our our projected ADA right there of 3,174. That is kind of like looking, that is based on the assumption that these students would come to school 97.5% of the year, right? But as we get into the second interim, we'll have much better data. So that number of LCFF funding may change.
Okay. And we're not anticipating any issues with attendance, right?
Not at this time. We've been monitoring it very closely.
Okay.
Can you just reiterate, for people who don't have as, close knowledge about looking at these budgets because they are, a whole beast unto themselves, that, that the beginning balance and the ending balance is not a surplus? Can you explain why that is?
Yeah, so the ending balance is the total number of various balances, and these represent essentially one-time monies, right? So, and we have different types of ending balances. We have, there are different components of the ending balance. So we have the minimum 3%, we have the assigned balances, and then we have the committed balances. The key difference between assigned and committed is that the committed balances are special balances that the board has determined and set as an action item to set aside. We cannot touch that money unless it was specifically addressing those issues. And if there are changes to that, we would have to bring it back to the board to present to make that change to that committed balance.
Thank you. If there are no further questions, do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call. Mr. Chang,
Aye.
Mr. Sung,
Aye.
Ms. Lamb,
Aye.
Mrs. Ryan,
Aye.
Mrs. Gill, aye. Mr. Burke? Motion carries to approval of the interim, I'm sorry, I think I read the wrong thing.
First interim financial report.
First interim.
Financial budget. Projections, section E.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, 12F. Back to Dr. Choi to present the agreement between SMUSD and AEF Sports for synthetic turf installation at San Marino High School to the board for approval.
Okay, thank you, President Gill, members of the board, and student member Burke. Tonight, we're requesting approval of an agreement to furnish and install approximately 80,000 square feet of new synthetic field turf at San Marino High School. The existing turf installed back in 2005 has long exceeded its useful life, and replacing it is essential to addressing safety concerns for our students and athletes. Scheduling the work for this summer will allow the project to move forward while minimizing disruptions to school operations and athletic programs. The pricing before you is secured through the California Multiple Award Schedule, or CMAS, which provides competitively bid and pre-negotiated rates for public agencies. This cost does not include demolition. One of the reasons this item was pulled from the last meeting, which will be competitively bid separately. Approving this agreement before the end of the calendar year will also save the district money, as the cost is expected to increase in the new year. The project cost is $909,966, and this work will be funded with Measure M bond funds. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve this contract so that this important safety upgrade can move forward as planned.
Any questions? Do we have any shop drawings yet, or is CJ presenting? Do we have any graphics yet, or are we not at that point?
We have an initial rendering where they took what we currently have on our field and provided that rendering. I could share that, but we typically, after a contract is awarded, we will take that rendering as a starting point and meet with the athletic director, the athletic teams, to really refine that design from that point.
Great. Any other questions? Okay, if not, do I have a motion to approve the agreement between San Marino Unified School District and AFE Sports AstroTurf for synthetic turf installation at San Marino High School? CMAS contract number 4-24-02-1013.
I move to approve.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, roll call. Mr. Chang?
Aye.
Mr. Sung?
Aye.
Ms. Lamb?
Aye.
Mrs. Ryan?
Aye.
Mrs. Gill, aye. And Student Board Member Burke? Thank you. Motion carries. 12G. I'd like to turn it back over to Dr. Choi to present an agreement between SMUSD and AEF Sports for AstroTurf for track resurfacing at San Marino High School.
Thank you, President Gill. This next item, Action 12G, is related to the turf replacement item we just discussed. While the previous action focused on the field, this item addresses the track at San Marino High School. We are requesting the board approval for an agreement to install approximately 7,000 square yards of a new track surface at the high school. The existing track is exhibiting significant bubbling and vapor emission issues, indicating underlying system failure. Because of these conditions, full removal and replacement are necessary to restore the facility to proper safety and competition standards for our student athletes. We also plan to have this work scheduled this summer. The project cost is $711,280, and the pricing is secured through CMAS, which ensures competitive and pre-negotiated rates for public agencies. This project will also be funded with Measure M bond funds. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve this contract so that this essential safety and performance upgrade can move forward.
Great. So we will begin this right after graduation?
That is something.
Timing on that?
Yeah, this project will take approximately 6 weeks and it will begin right at the start of summer. Typically we'll have to coordinate with the high school because they'll have some end of the year activities that we'll want to wait for, but it will begin as soon as possible and it'll take about 6 weeks.
And then is there a time that they have to be off of it? I mean, will it be ready for August school starting, basically?
Yeah, there's no like curing time or anything like that. Once that 6 week period is over, it's ready, it can be used.
Did we have to have a look at not only the grading, but the drainage system on that field? Because I know previously we had issues with that, with the.
So we'll be reutilizing the existing drainage system. When we do the demo, we will be cleaning out those top areas of the drain. And if there is an issue with the drains, once the top, sorry, I'm losing the word. The top of the drain is cleared, then we would have to correct it at that point.
Okay.
Can you go back to the water, the cooling cannon issue that you had talked about before? Did you resolve that?
Yeah, so that's also going to be something else that will have to be bid to increase the water pressure to the water cannons. Currently, the water cannons for the field cannot all operate simultaneously. So what ends up happening is you have to have about 2 water cannons on at a time where you're slowly going down the field. And by the time you reach one end, the opposite end will need the cannons again. So what we're looking to do is increase that water pressure so that all of the cannons can fire simultaneously. And we have had walks with several contractors to really refine and determine a scope so we could bid that project out.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? If not, do I have a motion to approve the agreement between San Marino Unified School District and AFE Sports AstroTurf for the track resurfacing at San Marino High School?
Move to approve.
Second, please.
Second.
Okay, roll call. Mr. Chang,
Aye.
Mr. Sung,
Aye.
Mrs. Lamb,
Aye.
Mrs. Ryan,
Aye.
Mrs. Gill, aye, and Student Board Member Burke. Thank you. Motion approved. 12H, back to Dr. Choi.
Thank you, President Gill. Action item 12H is a request for board approval to enter an agreement with Keystone Builders for the beautification of the concession restrooms at San Marino High School. This project includes demolition of outdated finishes, installation of new tile flooring, wall refinishing, updated restroom partitions, concrete patching, and general cleaning and restoration. The purpose of this work is to improve the appearance, functionality, and hygiene of these heavily used restrooms. I would also like to highlight the process that led us to this recommendation. This project was put out to bid for multiple times, and despite outreach to contractors on our original CUPCA list, we did not receive responsive bids. As a result, the district implemented and utilized our new PQ Bids platform to build a broader pool of qualified vendors, which ultimately enabled us to secure the proposal before you tonight. Work on this project is expected to begin as early as winter break and will continue until completion. The project cost is $151,030, which includes a base bid of $137,300 and a contingency of $13,730. This project will be funded with Measure M bond funds. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve this contract so that the project may proceed.
So how many restrooms at the San Bernardino High School?
What's that?
How many restrooms at the?
Oh, yeah, there's two restrooms, a boys and a girls restroom.
Oh, you mean next to the lobby, right?
No, these are the restrooms at the high school stadium.
Oh,
Concession stand?
yeah, okay.
Oh, next to the track and field.
Yeah.
That's like a
Yes.
block building.
Yeah.
That's the overhead of it right there, the snack bar. On the same subject of the restrooms, while we're doing all this work, are we able to add some sort of aesthetic screening of the porta potty that's right behind the Titans on the visitor side? It's right in the middle of the picture of Titans. There's a great
I'll take a-
non-aesthetic porta potty right
I'll
there.
take a look, and I think that's something we could definitely
some
take care of.
lattice screening even, any,
East.
yes,
Like a facade over.
northeast corner. It's been there so long, you don't even see it anymore, I'm sure.
I'll definitely take a look at that area, and
That'd be
I think
great.
that would be a great use of the contingency, and that's essentially why we have that.
Great, thank you. So if there are no more questions, do I have a motion to approve? Do
Move to approve.
I have a second?
Second.
Roll call, Mr. Chang,
Aye.
Mr. Sung.
Aye.
Ms. Lamb,
Aye.
Mrs. Ryan,
Aye.
Mrs. Gill, aye, and Student Board Member Burke. Motion carries. 12I, I'd like to turn it back to Dr. Choi.
Thank you. Action item 12I as a request for board approval to enter an agreement for fencing phase 1 at San Marino High School. This project includes new perimeter fencing, vehicle gates, conduit for future access control automation, ADA compliant flat work, and retaining wall modifications. The work focuses on several key areas of the campus: a new vehicle gate between the art gallery and the cafeteria driveway near the auditorium, a new chain link fence at the northwest area of the campus near the pool, an 8-foot Ameristar fence. I actually looked up what Ameristar is, the manufacturer of really nice looking gates, by the small gym, and another fence at the northeast portion of campus that includes a vehicle gate opening. Together, these improvements will enhance campus security, strengthen perimeter control, and improve accessibility for students, staff, and visitors. Work on this project is expected to begin as early as winter break and will continue until completion. The total project cost is $87,285, which includes a base bid of $79,350 and a contingency of $7,935. This project will be funded with Measure M bond funds, and it is recommended that the Board of Education approve this contract so that it can move forward on this important safety and security upgrade for the high school.
Question? Where's the retaining wall that it's referring to?
So near the auditorium, there is a ADA like switchback ramp that there is like a food services drive aisle, and to the right of that, there is it's a switchback wheelchair ramp.
It's like a ramp for the art gallery. So it's a driveway right on Huntington Drive. It's just east of the main drop off. And there's it's covered by that big
block,
white
yeah.
box there, but you see
Okay.
the driveway fucking kind of hover right around there. Yeah,
Okay.
that's where it is.
Got it, thank
And-
you.
And there's quite a bit of work we have to kind of readjust there to maintain those landings, and while incorporating a vehicle access gate, because it is a fire lane and there is ADA parking stalls adjacent to it. So that is the ADA work that needs to happen at the retaining wall.
Questions? If not, do I have a motion to approve bid number MM011?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call, Mr. Chang.
Aye.
Mr. Sung.
Aye.
Ms. Lamb.
Aye.
Mrs. Ryan.
Aye.
Mrs. Gill, aye, and Student Board Member Burke. Thank you. Back to Dr. Choi for 12J.
Okay, thank you, President Gill. So for 12J, tonight, the staff is requesting board approval and enter an agreement for reconfiguration work at the San Marino Unified School District Office. And I want to be clear from the outset that this project is not funded with Measure M bond funds. This project will be funded through safety credits, deferred maintenance, and the general fund. While the project includes physical improvements, its purpose is to address significant concerns related to function, safety, and the confidentiality within the district office. To provide more context, the district recently hired a public information officer who is currently working in a pass-through corridor space between the boardroom and the lobby. This location presents function and confidentiality challenges and is not an appropriate or private workspace. As part of this project, we propose converting the mail room next to the superintendent's office into an office for the superintendent's executive assistant. Doing so will improve workflow, enhance privacy, and provide better support to the superintendent, as well as other regular users of that space. And from a safety standpoint, the district's leadership team has grown, and the superintendent's office can no longer accommodate our leadership team around the conference table without blocking safe access and exit routes. Removing the credenza and modifying the casework will create the necessary clearance to ensure safe and unobstructed movement within the space. Ultimately, the project is aligned with one of our board goals to enhance safety and wellness, and also enable us to relocate the public information officer out of the pass-through area, which will be best utilized as a copy mail room. I would also like to highlight that the district used its new online bidding platform, PQ Bids, to competitively solicit contractors and secure responsive bids for this work. The scope includes demolition, new flooring, drywall work, painting, updated casework, and relocation of copier utilities, primarily electrical work. The project's cost is $162,800, comprising a base bid of $148,000 and a $14,800 contingency. We plan for this work to take place during winter break, aiming to minimize disruptions for the front office staff. And we're happy to answer any questions that you may have regarding this project. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve this contract so that these important operational, safety, and confidentiality enhancements can proceed.
I have a question.
Yes.
You mentioned that this will be paid through the safety credits and general fund and maintenance dollars. Can you clarify what portion of what will go to what?
Yeah, so depending on the work, so for example, the casework isn't necessarily so much tied to safety credits, right? But when we're looking at what's required to convert the existing mailroom into a workable space, we would rely on a lot of deferred maintenance dollars, right? The safety dollars would be tied to, for example, access. It would be tied to the fact that we are moving the credenza on the side so that we can move the table over so that it ensures ADA compliant access. That's what would be tied to safety credits.
So I know that there's like an estimated dollar amount. So how would that be calculated? Like right now, there's an estimated 160. So how much of what will go towards general fund is kind of my question.
Yeah, so we do have a proposal, right? And there are breakdowns for that.
Yeah, excuse me, sorry. Typically, we would get like a schedule of values, which will have a breakdown for all of those individual trades. So there'll be items like casework, and for example, I'll have a dollar amount. There'll be new flooring, which will have a dollar amount. And from that schedule of values, we'll be able to assign each value to a different fund.
Thank you.
As we're looking at this project, are we looking at any overall long-term planning for this facility? Because it seems like I can't envision it right now. I know you showed me a picture, but so you're saying you're extending the conference area of your office, right? You're pushing out a wall? No.
The superintendent's office, which is also our conference area, right? That's where we hold our closed session board meetings. That's where we have interviews. That's where we have our leadership team meetings. But right now, we have the two credenzas up against the back wall, and we had to extend the length of the conference table to accommodate our leadership team so everybody could fit around the table when we're meeting. But we have to center the table. We're going to center the conference table in the middle of the room once we move those credenzas out, which is why we need the casework, which is really a shelf and a cabinet to put the food services items on when we have meetings.
Your
Um,
coffee maker.
Coffee maker, the Keurig, right, as an example, bottled water, things that food service would bring in.
I don't think it's gonna get you that much space though.
It
And
actually
This.
does.
I'm actually not seeing, like,
It
you're
gives
not
us
pushing
that-
out anywhere. I
No,
mean,
pushing out in there at all. What we're doing is we're gonna, you know where the copy room is now, we have a vault in there. And by the way, that vault has no windows or other doors other than the vault door. And so I don't think anybody in the building has the combination. If somebody gets locked in that vault, they're there permanently.
There's a way to get out, though. If
Okay,
you are
so-
stuck in there, there's a way.
We did not know that. And we were worried
So-
about that being a safety hazard, the vault, and we don't
Opening
need a
this
vault.
door now.
Remember, this used to be the original library a long time ago. And so the superintendent's office that is also used for a conference room, it's not exclusively the superintendent's office, used to be a reading room, for the San Marino Library. It was here a long time ago. And so it was never built to be it wasn't intended to be a district office. We converted it to a district office. So, so the executive assistant to the superintendent will move into the copy room as an office. We're converting that space to an office.
There's
So-
actually a door as well that's
Yeah.
closed up
So
right
you're
now,
opening.
There's a
and we are reopening that.
That leads to the copy room, but it's drywalled off on the opposite side. And that was because years ago, you could hear the copy machine humming really loudly. And so people that were meeting in the superintendent's office or that conference room, they couldn't concentrate or hear and focus. And so they drywalled it off. And so we're going to have access between the superintendent's office and the copy room, which is the copy room now, will be converted into an office. And this space here in between the boardroom and the reception area, which is just like a pass through, that will become the copy room. It's a more public space. So anybody
Where
who's
Michelle's
working in this area here has absolutely no privacy. People stop and congregate there and talk to that person, which is constantly interrupting their productivity and efficiency and concentration. And there's no expectation of confidentiality when working on confidential documents or having private conversations on the phone. It's just a very, very public area where there's constant interruptions and distractions. And so we need to make that the copy area. And then convert the current workroom into an office space. And then the PIO would go into where Jennifer is now, which is this office facing West Drive. So we've actually measured everything. We had Gil come in and do all the measurements, and we will be able to fit everybody in the conference room around that table if we get rid of those two credenzas and center the table.
Would you like to look at it?
Yeah, you can walk through there if you like.
If
now my question still remains unanswered. Is this going to anticipate the future planning of what we're looking at in terms of office space, efficiency, all of that? Like, we seem to be reactive. We hired somebody, now we have to move Jennifer from here to there. Now we hired somebody else, now we're gonna move. And so I'm just asking the question.
Yeah.
I don't need to go and look at it. I've been here many times. I'm just saying I can't envision how that, okay, yeah, you shifted people, but I'm not seeing anything expanded. If you're saying that, you know, it's hard to get in through your conference table, if it's hard to do this and that and the other. And then if it's not convenient, then we continue to make these moves and there's no.
We have discussed this for many years, and we just never did it. But this is not a conversation that just came up impromptu as a result of hiring the PIO. This came up before several times for many, 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 many years. And Mrs. Delatorre can attribute to this when she was in that space trying to work on board minutes. It is a constant interruption, distraction, lack of confidentiality. It is not conducive to a professional work environment for anyone. And so the opportunity now has come. We have, I think, $192,000 in safety credit money, which is not money that's held here at the district office. It's at the JPA level. We have identified an ADA, compliance issue. It's, the office is not accessible. So it would be an appropriate use of safety credit money to do that. So it's an opportunity to address a long-standing problem that has existed for many, many years in our school district office. Many districts like South Pasadena, as an example, had a very small district office, and they have many of the same challenges that we have, and they were able to purchase a building. And if you go there now, they have really nice two-story, district office, and everybody has offices, and there are conference rooms and that kind of thing. We don't have that capacity in San Marino to be able to, buy a building, or, we could look at that as an option. But I don't think that's not what we're proposing. What we're proposing is that we take the space that we currently have and reconfigure it so that it meets the needs of the Board of Education, the district office, staff, and so we can do the work that we need to do to support the kids at the schools. Otherwise, we would be asking to relocate, I guess, at some point.
Is the millwork for the new copy room included in this price?
I'm sorry, say that again. Is the what work?
The casework.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
For this agenda, for this project, because they said, I think the name is for copy room relocation. I think this is not really explained to the entire the project, serving the purpose. I feel that we need to clarify and let the public know what we did to spend the money. I think it's for our superintendent. I think she actually her office is a superintendent office, also is a conference room, because for our existing setup, we don't have a conference area for the meeting. So superintendent is very generous. When we have a school board closed section, we go there. PTA with the school district, they stay there. So actually, I think this project is like a more. I don't want the public, the just misunderstand or this every several years, or we are spending money to equip the superintendent office. As you remember before, the previous superintendent, they did the war, and then they get a critique. But actually, that is not necessary critique. I think because the put a wall and then can reduce some the issue of confidentiality. So I just like everyone understand what is the purpose we remodel for this project, and we spend the money, but definitely it's not the we just remodeling for the superintendent office.
Right, this title is not entirely.
So I mean the district the administrator, you need to able to explain what's the purpose for this project. Yeah. Right.
Superintendent's office / conference room,
Yeah.
very little.
Yeah.
It's just the cabinet work, right, that is going in to replace the credenzas. That's the only thing that's happening in the superintendent's office. It's really the copy room that exists now. And this cost includes the demolition of the vault, right? So that will extend and open up that space, and that will be a larger space. I guess maybe that answers Vice President Ryan's question about opening up space and giving more area to work with. Correct, CJ? And maybe you can speak to that.
That is correct. And to my understanding, that is a substantial portion of the cost. I want to say upwards of 10 to 20.
Yeah, if I can, I serve as like a historian. I tell you the last 5 to 10 year story. So because the critic, the immediate past superintendent, when he start and he give up the current superintendent office, he used the Dr. Choi's the office, but I feel we need to maintain the tradition. That time, that conference room is like empty. It's not good. Maybe because of the time also is the COVID-19 stage, so it's okay. But we need to make each room look it's bright and also it's very useful. So then I recommend Dr. Territory when she became the superintendent. I said you need to move back, but she been very generous. She did not just occupy as her office always have more meeting utilize. So the superintendent's office actually is a combination superintendent office plus the conference room. Yeah.
Thank you for that historical perspective. I think it is important to note that. And definitely this project does have various components, but the majority of the scope, the major scope of the project is still the relocation of the copy room. It's just that there is a component of it in the superintendent's office.
I think this project name should be like a relocation for the partial, the school district. We just need to have a more, the better.
I feel like I can support this
Yeah.
in that it's a more efficient use of space. I think that the pass-through aspect of this room right off of the boardroom here really does lend itself to more community use and admin support work that doesn't necessarily need to have confidentiality attached to it. And that room over there behind your office / community or district boardroom conference room, there's a lot of dead space in there right now. Mail rooms are not utilized in the way that they once were.
It's true.
So I mean, I can support this.
Is it gonna be, is the company that doing the remodeling has no impact on any other school projects right now we are presenting, right? What I mean is it's not gonna slow down any other task we're doing. It's gonna be independently operating in timeline.
Yeah, it would be completely independent, and I work at a school site would take priority over district office.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that there's some concern that you might prioritize like one thing the others, but
No, students are always the number one priority.
so as long as it's fine and terror, no impact, I think this is gonna be okay.
And we did really look at the overall space the district office has in terms of different ways to reorganize. And we looked at the portables that we have where, we have the specifications out there. We have, accounting, technology, special education. What's that?
Purchasing?
Purchasing is actually by maintenance and operations off of Sherwood. But, and we have our TOSAs, right? That are out there. Now we have 3 TOSAs that are sharing space out there. And so those are positions that didn't normally get housed at the district office in the past, and now they are. And then when we hired a PIO, 50% of her time is dedicated to the bond, 50% is dedicated to the district. She is, somebody who's also in charge of crisis communications. I need to have the PIO accessible to me as superintendent. So it's important for her to be upfront and as close to me as possible. In addition to that, my executive assistant needs to be accessible to me as well. I work with them both very steadily throughout the day. And so it would be inefficient for me to have to walk out all the way out there to talk to either one of them if they were in the portables. And now we're using the portable space that we had out there that was empty for the bond since we passed the bond. So every space has been utilized. We looked at all kinds of options. This really is the most cost-effective option that we have to address this space issue and this ADA safety issue.
Well, if there's no more question, I move to approve.
Second.
Roll call, Mr. Chang,
Aye.
Mr. Sung,
Aye.
Ms. Lamb,
Aye.
Mrs. Ryan,
Aye.
Mrs. Gill, aye, and Student Board Member Burke. Thank you. 12K, would like to turn it back to Dr. Choi to present an agreement between San Marino Unified and AME Builders, Inc., DBA AME Roofing for roof replacement of portable buildings 207, 208, OT, and APE at Huntington Middle School.
Thank you, President Gill, members of the board, Student Member Burke. This item is a request for board approval to enter agreement for roofing replacement work at Huntington Middle School. I would also like to note that this action item is related to the item that follows, which addresses the purchase of materials needed for this project. As part of our recent effort to assess roofing conditions across all district campuses, these portable classrooms were identified as being among the areas in the most severe condition. Due to the level of deterioration and the importance of maintaining safe, dry, and structurally sound learning environments, we are prioritizing this work with the goal of completing it during winter break. This project includes the removal and replacement of low-slope roofing systems on 4 portable classrooms, rooms 207, 208, the OT classroom, and adaptive PE. The scope also includes wood deck replacement as needed, fascia board replacement, new gutters and downspouts, and other associated improvements. Replacing these aging and failing roofing systems is essential to ensure proper weather protection, preserve structural integrity, and support long-term building performance for the programs housed in these spaces. The project cost is $87,540, which includes a base bid of $80,040 and a contingency of $7,500. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve this contract so that this important facilities improvement at Huntington Middle School can move forward.
Questions?
Well, my suggestion, when I have a tour at the middle school, I observe the roof, and we also need to have a maintenance department effort. They need to trim the tree because some of the big tree they already grow and then go to the roof. Yeah, so that's my personal recommendation. Besides finish this project and gradually, I know the trim the tree also is expensive, but that also helping to maintain for the roof. Yeah.
I agree. As we're looking at all these different facilities, I'm learning very quickly how one system affects another. So if you're looking at roofing, how it's really tied to landscaping and grounds, and so it is all related.
But our gutters are cleaned regularly, right?
We have a schedule to clean the gutters. But of course, if you have trees that are right over the gutters, they're gonna need to clean.
Has the tree overgrowth over
Yes.
on the west side.
Yes.
Because of the tree, too high and then the reach to the roof and also end and the termite may go to the roof and eventually.
And also just fire safety,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
going back to
yeah.
last year.
Those things
Yeah,
are being
yeah.
considered.
Yes,
Yes,
yeah.
absolutely.
Okay,
So if there's no further questions, can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, Mr. Chang,
aye.
Mr. Sung,
Aye.
Ms. Lamb,
Aye.
Mrs. Ryan,
Aye.
Mrs. Gill, aye, and Student Board Member Burke. Thank you. Motion approved. And our final item for the evening, Dr. Choi?
Okay, thank you, President Gill. This final action item is related to the roofing replacement project we just presented for Huntington Middle School. And while the previous action item addressed the labor and installation, this item focuses specifically on the purchase of the roofing materials needed for the work. Staff is requesting board approval to purchase the necessary roofing materials from the Garland Company. These materials are being procured through the CMAS, which ensures compliance, competitive pricing, and the use of approved products for public works projects. The cost of the materials is $65,076.30. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve this purchase so that the roofing replacement project at Huntington Middle School can proceed without delay.
Question? If not, can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second, please.
Second,
Roll call, Mr. Chang,
aye.
Mr. Sung,
Aye.
Ms. Lamb,
Aye.
Mrs. Ryan,
Aye.
Mrs. Gill, aye, and Mr. Burke. Right, thank you. Motion
you.
carried.
Thank
Okay. Item 13, Board Superintendent discussion items.
Just congratulations to the new officers and thank you so much to the Board of Education, our student board member, Burke. Thank you so much for your dedication and your responsibility. You're always here on time, you show up, you do your job, and we're grateful to you. And I hope that you all have a wonderful, restful, safe holiday season and get to spend lots of quality time with your children and your family members. And not you, because I know you don't have children, but with your parents. Unless you're four-legged.
Yeah.
Yes, right.
Well, thank you to everyone for your continued engagement. I know this was kind of a long agenda today, but this is really important work we needed to get done over the break. So with that, I adjourn this meeting at 9:24. Thank you.
Thank you.